Today I'm going to be making one of my favorite recipes from childhood, my Grandma Jo's potato salad. This always makes me feel like it's a taste of home. My Aunt Helen was kind enough to write up the recipe for me, and some of the things I remember from memory. These are the ingredients I'll be using today. Some vinegar, a bell pepper. I like the spicy brown mustard, but you can also use yellow. Some potatoes, some green onions, celery, eggs, honey, and some bread and butter pickles for relish. First, I hard boil the eggs. Boil them in the rolling boil about 8 minutes, and then transfer to some water with ice cubes in it to make them easy to peel. Next, I will peel and cube the potatoes. Make sure that your potatoes are not green. If they have any green on them, they are actually a little bit poisonous. Also make sure to get out any sprouts. Those are also poisonous, and you don't want them in your potato salad. Oops, I almost forgot the most important ingredient, the mayonnaise. That's what makes the potato salad. My grandma liked to use a Heinz safflower mayonnaise. That was her favorite, but we have this avocado oil mayonnaise today. You can also use a vegan form if you want and leave out the eggs. It works just as well. Now I'm going to chop the potatoes. I like this to be a more rustic style potato salad, so I'll cut them into quarters first, and then cut them into sizes about like this, a little bit on the chunky side. You can see some in my hand for comparison. Add a pinch of salt to the boiling water before adding the potatoes. Add the potatoes to the boiling water, being careful not to splash yourself. Next, I'll peel and chop the eggs. See how easily they peel after being soaked in the cold water? Next, I'll chop the eggs. These are slightly overdone. I think I want a tad bit over 8 minutes. 8 minutes seems to be perfect for getting the perfect yellow yolk. I like to cut the eggs a little thicker. And again, if you're a vegan, you can just leave out the eggs and maybe just put a little splash of turmeric or curry for extra color and flavor in your potato salad. I also like to chop the yolks a little finer than the whites. So I can set those aside, which I kind of forgot to do here, and give them a finer chop. It's about perfect. Next, I'll prepare the vegetables. These are green onions that I got from our garden. I just simply use some starts. Green onions usually in the garden don't have this problem, but if the tip is broken, bugs can get inside. So you want to open those up and make sure there's no insects hiding inside the green onions. Finally, mince the green onions. Make sure to always move your finger away from the knife as you chop. There's a nice pile of green onions, about half a cup. Next, clean and chop 3 ribs of celery. Cut off any undesirable parts, no peeling. I always add a little bit of celery leaves in there as well, because my grandma did, and I think it gives it more celery taste. For the celery, I like to mince it pretty finely. Time to check the potatoes. Almost done, but not quite. They've been boiling about 6 minutes now. While the potatoes are still boiling, we'll continue with our prep work. It's time to clean and dice the bell pepper. Make sure to knock all the seeds out in the sink. Next, we'll mince the pepper into a fine dice. I like to remove the seeds and any white parts of the pepper. That looks fine enough. Just enough to be crunchy, but not too big. I'm going to check on the potatoes again. I've turned down the boiling a little bit because I don't want them to overboil. Oops, that's hot. Still a little bit tough, just a little bit longer. These have been in about 8 minutes now. Everybody's stove is going to vary though. This is on a natural gas stove. The potatoes still aren't done yet, so now I'll start making the dressing. Add about a half cup of mayonnaise. Next, add 2 teaspoons of mustard. Add 2 tablespoons of honey. I couldn't find my tablespoon measure, but a soup spoon is about right. Add in an 1/8 cup of vinegar. Now the potatoes are cooked. The fork just pierces them, but they're not mushy. Drain the potatoes. Pour some cold filtered water over them to stop the cooking. If you're lucky, you'll live in an area where you don't have to filter your water for it to taste good. Now it's time to assemble the potato salad. In go the potatoes. They're still a little hot, which helps the dressing stick, but not too hot. Add the dressing. The vegetables. The green onion and chopped egg. I don't have pickle relish this time, so I'm just going to chop up some sweet bread and butter pickles into relish for the salad. About 2 to 3 tablespoons worth. Just cut them into a fine dice like a relish. Add the pickle relish. Now I stir everything together. After mixing, taste a little bit of the potato salad to see if it's to your liking. This potato salad needed a little salt. And I forgot the pepper, very important. And my grandma's secret ingredient, she would put in a little of the pickle juice or pickle relish juice. Just about a tablespoon or so. It wasn't quite sweet enough, so I also added about a teaspoon of sugar. Wrap the potato salad and chill it in the fridge. I definitely think the flavor improves if you let it set overnight if you have time. Otherwise, just enough time to chill is fine. Enjoy your potato salad.